All right, welcome back. Curt Bloom along with pitcher Erik Johnson. Erik, one thing that I think would be interesting for our fans, pitchers, as we always know, and I always have talked about, they're creatures of habit. But the fans don't know that you have a 5-day cycle. Today would be day 3, if I'm not mistaken. Why don't you take me through, let's just pretend that you pitched yesterday, and then take me through the next 4 days, because it's a different routine and a different regimen each time.
Yeah, so say I pitched yesterday. Today would be my day one, which would be my longest day of cardio, hardest workout. I usually get on the bike or treadmill for 20 minutes. Then I get my legs and my back exercises out of the way. Then usually you have to wear the bucket for 3 rounds of batting practice. And then you usually just play a nice, easy catch, let your arm recover on this day.
Day 2, 3, and 4, tell me about those.
So day 2 is your bullpen day usually. Day 2 or day 3, it's a preference for guys. I usually throw mine on day 2. It's usually a nice 20-pitch bullpen maybe. You want to keep it on the lighter side just to make sure that you're recovering each day you're throwing. Also on day 2, you're going to get your long toss in and another upper body workout with some nice, probably 8 pulls or something. And then day 3, you're playing a nice catch, maybe out 90 feet. Then you're getting your 3/4 pulls in. And then you're doing your legs and back again. And then day 4, you want to keep it on the lighter side with your start being on the next day. And you're going to get your sprints in and your upper body workout.
What we've known from you is a guy that sometimes sits behind me on the bus, a very serious side to Erik Johnson. I'm not going to ask you about the unserious side yet, but when it's game 4, or day 4 rather, let's go back to day 4, and it's the next night, is that a tough night of sleep for you, knowing that the next day is your start?
I wouldn't say so. I think I've been doing this long enough that sleep is another part of your routine, and taking care of business off the field as well, and taking care of your body, and especially out in this heat, making sure you're hydrated, which is one of the biggest keys for me. And just staying, because you got to take care of the stuff on the field, weight room, training room, and make sure you're taking care of yourself off the field as well, just to stay healthy. It's such a long season that's the biggest thing.
We're chatting with Erik Johnson, one of our starters here. First of all, you're not the only California kid to ever mention the heat and humidity down south. Numbers. Now let's talk about 2013, and we can rattle off, if I had them all in front of me, you're in the top 5 in practically everything, top 3 in practically everything. Now, if you expected to be here and expected to have those numbers, or if you didn't, I'm not sure if we're giving you enough credit. But more importantly, when you look at them at the halfway point, what do they mean to you? The wins, the ERA, the WHIP, the batting average against. What does all of this mean to you so far?
To me, it just means that I'm taking care of the small things. I know Britt Burns and our pitching coordinator, Curt Hassler, have talked about, if you work and go after hitters with making sure you're getting first pitch strikes, 2 out of 3 pitches for strikes early in the count, and getting early contact in the at-bats, that these numbers are going to just take care of themselves. So rather than paying attention to the results, I try to go after each hitter and each at-bat, each pitch, just as like my routine as far as in between each start. And it's really, for me, it's just first pitch strikes, just like what our pitching coach and Britt Burns and Curt Hassler have been preaching. And it really simplifies things for you out on the mound, and you just try to work ahead and attack the zone.
You missed half of last year, and that makes it even more amazing when you didn't have 15 starts that you lost due to an injury. How were you able to jump right into Double-A and do all this? Does it go back to those basics we just talked about?
Yeah, I think it's always back to basics. Just because baseball is such a statistics game, You just look at the statistics on about first pitch strikes and working ahead in the count and how the odds always in the pitcher's favor. So it's more about not you getting them out, but making sure you're working with the glove so they can get themselves out. And it's especially I know from experience now that it's you want to be out on the field and you want to be playing every day and you want to be healthy. And so I take that part of my game very seriously. And you don't want to be stuck in that training room. You want to be out on the field playing.
You taught me something new. It's not just pounding the strike zone, okay? You came up, you did your post-game stuff, and you said, CB, it's not only pounding the zone, but it's pounding the zone low. Tell our people about that. What's the difference and why low?
Yeah, it's when you're talking about pitching, it's about pounding the bottom part of the zone. And when you talk about that, it's like when you're talking about an outside pitch, you're going to say down and away, down and in. The first word there is down. You want the ball to be down. And then if you're down, there's greater room for error. Just because when the ball's up, it's easier to hit. It's plain that simple.
As good as things are going, you have to ask the question, where is there room for improvement?
The way I see it is every day is an opportunity for improvement. And whether it be just getting one more strike in the strike zone or working on this pitch this week, every day you should come out to the field with a goal or thought in mind on where something you need to improve on. And it's really about a journey rather than a finish line. And it's every day you can get better at something new.
Unless you have had a pair of headphones on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you are right now understanding that there are many publications that are talking about you as the number one prospect, whatever that means. You're so on the radar right now that no matter where you go, everyone wants to know more about Erik Johnson. How have you been able to keep that in perspective? Is there somebody in your family? Is there a coach? Or is it within inside your heart where you're not letting any of that get any further than the start that's coming up on Monday?
Like I said before, it's really day by day, pitch by pitch, inning by inning. And it's keeping things simplified and nice and relaxed, nice and easy is the way to go for me. Whether it be publications or whatnot, it's everyone has their own opinions, and I respect those. But I enjoy doing what I do out on the field every day, and in my heart, that's the biggest thing for me.
This interview again reveals the serious side. Somewhere in there maybe, there's a guy that laughs, there's a guy that's a practical joker, there's a guy that has a lot of fun. When do you let that out? And is there a secret dark side of Erik Johnson that just likes to go out and be a crazy nut, like a Dan Black?
Oh, I'll never be on Dan Black's level, but I enjoy myself every day I come to the park, being with the guys, being with the team, and this game is it'll bring you up, it'll bring you down, but you got to have your laughs along the way, and the people I meet here and the friendships I make, whether it be with a teammate or someone who works at the park or someone I met in town here in Birmingham, it's really about the people and the friendships and the relationships you make along the way, and for the most part, those will be lifelong.
It's like you said, the journey to get not only to the big leagues, but the journey along the way, appreciating the city that you're in. Erik Johnson, in my 20-plus years as a broadcaster, I don't think I've seen a better half of baseball than what this guy has put together. We'll be back with more interviews and more Barons baseball right after this.